My name is Danielle Fenfair. For those of you all who don't know me, I am a teacher. I teach professional women, groups, and professional leaders how to go from confusion to clarity, revealing the truth of who they really are, and then bringing the fullness of that true self to their work, their relationships, their passions, their loves. And I do that through a curriculum that I have developed called Confusion to Clarity. And I actually am going to be teaching a little bit from the workbook that I created, which is the book that I wish I had when I was doing my own inner work, called Go From Confusion to Clarity. And you are watching Superpower Sundays on Instagram Live and Facebook Live. And Superpower Sundays is a live broadcast that I dreamed up being able to teach things that were very relevant and important to our cultural climate, and also near and dear to my heart, things that I share with my clients, things that I share with folks who are under the sound of my teaching voice. And so this is my offering, so that we can continue to share the information that we're learning and giving without anyone having any kind of constraints. If you have a smartphone, if you have an internet connection, you have access to this information. And so I started Superpower Sundays because we are in day 10 of the 40 Days of Superpower Challenge. And the 40 Days of Superpower Challenge is simply a community that I started that is intended to shift our ability to focus on the positive, focus on our powers, instead of focusing on our negatives, instead of focusing on the lessons that we've learned through mistakes, instead of focusing on the cautionary tales that we've seen and experienced, rather than do that, which is our very natural and great ability to do that. I am trying to give us space within 40 days to create a new habit of using our strengths, of focusing on our power, of focusing on our unique gifting and contribution as a primary motivator for how we should move and be in the world. So if you want to join that community, go to the link in my bio and click on the Join the 40 Days of Superpower community, and what you'll get from me is some videos and some emails and some practices for how to get started. I also created a digital planner, the 40 Days of Superpower Planner, which again continues that habit, building this way for us to move into the day and through the day, focusing on what are our superpowers. Let me name them, let me deeply know them, and let me create a plan to contribute them. That's what the planner is all about. So go to my website and check that out, 40 Days of Superpower Planner, and join the 40 Days of Superpower community. The community is free to join. And I would love to see your names and your faces there, and just, continue to grow. Because where do we learn? Where do we learn to grow and focus our superpowers? Where do we learn to really name and leverage our unique gifting? Where do we learn that? Was there a Be Yourself class at school, or was there a superpower class that we took maybe after home ec or right before gym? No, we were not cultured and taught to name and know what is uniquely special about us. Some of us stumbled into it. Some of us had parents and communities that nurtured it, but many of us were not given specific information about the things that make us unique and special and make us a invaluable contribution to where we are. And so we have to create that. We have to create space in order to do that. So I'm very excited and honored that this 40 Days of Superpower and the Superpower Sundays experience has a sponsor. It is brought to you by I Love Jinka. And what is I Love Jinka? If you don't know what I Love Jinka is, listen, it's an elixir of wellness is what it is. This is a paste that can literally reduce and eliminate inflammation in your body at a microorganism level, okay? And so what it is a paste primarily made up of turmeric, okay, which is this ancient anti-inflammatory root. It also has alkaline water, coconut oil, true cinnamon, ginger, pink Himalayan salt, coarse black pepper. Man, you take some of this, a teaspoon of this, and some almond milk, and you'll make golden milk. You can make it as a tea. You can also spoon it into your food and cook with it, put it in oatmeal, but this will reduce inflammation in your body, and inflammation is the root of all disease. Okay, so folks who take ginkgo have reported restored eyesight, lower cholesterol, pain relief, right? They get relief from things like irritated stomachs and gas and joint pain. Anything having to do with inflammation. Turmeric is an ancient root that is over and over again science backs that it really does reduce the inflammation that our diets and our environments creates in our bodies. And so I Love Ginkgo are proud sponsors of Superpower Sundays because this is a superpower substance. So if you want to set yourself up for success, I suggest you go to iloveginkgo.com. And anybody who's watching this, you get a little bit of a discount. You get 10% off if you go to iloveginkgo.com and buy your jar and let them know that Danielle's Superpower Sundays is where you heard about it. So I Love Ginkgo, and I'm actually drinking some golden milk right now. I call it liquid gold because it's so delicious. There's a little bit of date sugar in it too. Forgot to mention that, which is very good sugar. If you're gonna eat sugar, it needs to be as natural and as low on the glycemic index as possible, and date sugar is. And so, man, it tastes good. It kind of reminds you of like a holiday drink, like a healthy nog. And every time I drink this personally, for those of you guys who don't know, I have very loud symphonic elephant trumpet sounding allergies. And when I drink this, I wake up clear in the morning. I do not blow like Dizzy Gillespie in the morning, and I'm not constantly just draining because allergies, sinus pressure is another manifestation of inflammation, and this turmeric paste really helps to reduce that inflammation in your body. So go to iloveginkgo.com. I love ginkgo. You will love ginkgo too, and I really appreciate you guys for supporting the work that I am doing, and I love and support you guys' work. I'm very grateful for you guys. Ginkgo. I was telling Kim, I almost made some Janka the other day because I was running out, and I was out of Jinka, so I almost made me some Janka, some Janky Jenka, because I was so desperate for my anti-inflammatory elixir. So don't make Janka at your house. Just go get you some Jinka. Okay, just go get the real thing. Let the experts. These people have been making this for years. So let the experts who have perfected their formula aid you on your journey to an anti-inflammatory, healthy, quiet inner life. My intestines are so quiet when they used to be so loud. That's probably too much information. Let's get started. So what I want to share tonight is the hidden superpowers found in jealousy. And this is a sensitive subject for a lot of people because to talk about jealousy means that you have to be honest about how you feel, and you have to be honest about how you feel about other people, okay? Now, my goal and intention tonight is not to focus on the fact that people are jealous of you or that you're jealous of people. My focus and my intention tonight is a concept of transmutation. Do you know what that word transmutation means? Transmutation is simply the changing of one thing to another. It's the change in form of a substance. And so pain can be transmuted into joy, okay? Discipline can be transmuted into expertise. Jealousy can be transmuted into a knowledge of your superpowers if we listen to and understand the information that is available in jealousy. Whether you are the giver of jealousy, whether you are the source, or whether you are the recipient, there is still messages, whether you are on either side of the coin, there are messages for you in that exchange that will unearth and reveal your superpowers. What I call superpowers is what is unique, what is beautiful, what is virtuous, and what is gifted about you. Okay, so first of all, what is jealousy? You know, what is this concept of jealousy? What am I talking about? So jealousy happens when person A has come into a knowledge of and an application of that which makes them special, unique, and a positive contribution to the world. And person B sees that happening and has an immediate negative response to it, okay? Now, jealousy can come out in a few ways, and you guys can chime in and tag your friends, share this with folks, and share with me your experience. I'm open to dialogue. But jealousy comes out in three forms so far that I've seen. The first form is immediate anger or contempt. Another way that jealousy can show itself is in withholding attention, acknowledgement, or praise. Another way that a sneaky way that jealousy can make itself known is making jokes that demean, diminish, or undermine the light or the talent or the positive atmosphere that is coming about as a result of the contribution of person A's gifts. Suffice it to say that jealousy can be seen, experienced, or felt as a negative response to something good that someone else is doing. Jealousy and envy are friends. They both are in the family of seeing someone else's joy, success, positive experience, and having a negative response to it as if you don't want it to happen or as if you wished it would happen to you. And let me tell you this, jealousy is not limited to friendships. Jealousy can exist in any relationship, parental relationships, spousal relationships, sibling relationships, working relationships, mentor-mentee relationships, anywhere that there's a human exchange, anywhere where there's value being exchanged, there's the opportunity for one person to align deeply with their contribution and move forward in that, and another person to experience a negative emotional inner atmosphere as a result. Okay? So, what does that have to do with anything about superpowers? Well, let me tell you. My belief, after 12 years of helping entrepreneurs, professional artists, and professionals in the business, in various business entities, after helping them merge their vocational ambition with their sacred longing to make a difference and moving those things together and seeing what happens in their lives as a result of them living out their passion, is that jealousy is a very unique experience that all of us have at some point, either giving or receiving it. It's something that we've all felt. It's something that we all have experienced coming from other people. It is my belief that jealousy is displaced conviction. What do I mean by that? Well, conviction is a strong sense or belief in something, okay? So when person A is rooted, grounded, aligned, moving and grooving, showing their strengths, being celebrated, being promoted, being rewarded, when person A is experiencing that and person B experiences jealousy, what they're experiencing is displaced conviction. What happens is when person A starts to really move in their personal power and accumulate all the good things that result from that, person B is reminded of their own personal power, of their own potential, of their own gifts, and reminded that they can do that too. Because person B may not have the tools and the clarity to be able to organize and understand their own feelings, they associate that negative inner atmosphere with person A's achievements and displace that negative feeling onto person A as the source. Are you with me? Jealousy is displaced conviction. It is the knowledge that you see someone else growing in what they are doing, and it immediately reminds person B, hey, I can do that too. For some reason, I'm not. So rather than do the work of detangling and organizing those feelings, person B immediately assumes that person A's achievements are the source and the trigger for those negative feelings. Jealousy is displaced conviction. Again, there is a gift in jealousy, okay? Because listen to this. When you experience that displaced conviction, when person B, let me say person B, experiences that displaced conviction, a light comes on. I'll give you an example, a personal example. 10 years ago, in 2008, I bought a book called The Beautiful Side of Ugly. And the book was created by a photographer and a poet. The photographer and I went to the same high school, the illustrious and world-renowned Jackie Yates Senior High School, Go Lions, a factory for greatness, okay? Anyway, the book was called The Beautiful Side of Ugly, and it was $25. And at the time, I made the purchase because I wanted to support those young brothers, and I was also enraged on the inside. I was like, how dare they charge me $25 for this book? Who do they think they are to come in here and release a book and they selling it and we just buying it? You know, there's no publisher behind them. They don't have a book deal. They haven't signed with Penguin or HarperCollins. I haven't paid $25. I didn't pay $25 for Rick Warren's book. And that book was called, what was Rick Warren's book called? Something about life, tree of life or something. Anyway, I was immediately critical and jealous. Do you know why? Because I have a degree in writing and I have lots of books in me, and holding their book in my hand and having paid my money and having been in the same community, the same neighborhood, and being the same age as these guys, and them not holding my book created in me what I felt, which was jealousy, but what I now know is displaced conviction. It wasn't that I was jealous or mad at them for being successful. It was that I too knew that I needed to write my book. Jealousy is displaced conviction. Now hear this. Conviction without a willingness to change feels like condemnation. When someone has a belief or an idea that something should be the way that it could be in their lives, without a willingness to actively shift their environment in order to bring those things into place, the conviction that one feels every time they see this person is going to feel like condemnation. Hence the contempt that usually accompanies jealousy. Are you guys following me so far? Okay. This is common knowledge. This is not something that I'm making up. This is something that I've learned a long time ago. I wish I could find out where I'm gonna find the source of that quote for y'all so I can cite my sources. Conviction without a willingness to change feels like condemnation, which means anytime anyone knows that a change should happen without a willingness to behaviorally and psychologically shift will always feel condemned by the light that they see in other people, which explains the contempt and explains the little negative jokes and explains the avoidance and explains the lack of acknowledgement or the withholding of praise that we know is a physical communication and outward manifestation of jealousy. So what does this have to do with our superpowers? Well, you have so much information. When you experience jealousy yourself, you have to say, what do I see outwardly that is a reflection of what is already in me that I need to cultivate? If you are receiving jealousy, then your question is, what do they see that is so valuable, that is bothering and irritating the greatness that is within them? Now you have begun to transmute the negative experience, the negative feelings into something positive. You begin to shift the substance. And let me tell you why transmutation is so necessary. Transmutation is necessary because we cannot possibly grow and experience what we truly desire in life if we are constantly distracted by relationships that are full of strife and negativity. We will allow our energy to be stolen from us by trying to fix whatever seems to be wrong in a relationship. And while we're investing time in trying to fix and cater to and appease these relationships, we are stealing time from our purpose, stealing time from our gifts, stealing time from nurturing and growing our superpowers. Because our relationships, it is our natural state in relationships to be loved, aligned, and supported. And that's our natural state. So when a relationship is not feeling like a place that is loving, like a place that is in alignment and a place that is supportive, we should either make a shift in that relationship, or we should shift from that relationship. Okay? So whether you are experiencing jealousy as the source of it, or whether you're experiencing jealousy as a recipient of it, you have a few questions to ask yourself. The first question is, what am I jealous of? And if you're not experiencing jealousy in your heart, you know that your question is, what are they jealous of? What gift, what virtue, what character quality is so evident in me that it is shining a light on the character qualities that are not being lived out in other people's lives? The next question is, whether you ask, what am I jealous of, or what are they jealous of? Your next question is, what does that mean about my value? How does that affirm my contribution? The next question you can ask yourself is, how can I now grow? How can I now add to and increase that value, that gift, that contribution? How can I dig into it? How can I lean into it? How can I nurture it? Your final question is, what will I do today to nurture myself? What you just did was you just transmuted the negative effects of jealousy into an exploration of your own gifts, contribution, and value, and just created a strategy for how to increase and add more value. All because you experienced or you received jealousy. Okay? I don't want to gloss over the fact that it can be very painful to experience relationships that you just knew were going to be your support system, and you sense that there is jealousy. I don't want to gloss over how shameful it can be to know that something good is happening in someone else's life and you just cannot quite participate because of some negative feelings that you have. I don't want to gloss over that. I don't want to act like that's not a reality. It is. There have been times where I have just been stuck, like, I want to, and what's happening is that displaced conviction. There are other times where I've had friends, family members that I just knew would be my number one cheerleader, and they were just busy doing other things when I was growing and moving in a direction that was really great for me. That's painful. That's hurtful. Only when we actually address and face the disappointment and the pain of those situations is when we can mine and really dig into it to transmute that pain into positive emotions. And the positive emotions are so powerful. The positive emotions are so necessary because no one wants to work and build and grow and hire someone who is depressed and sad and constantly complaining about everything in their lives. People love working with folks with good attitudes, that are upbeat, that are joyful, that are excited about what's going on, that know who they are and know what they contribute and do so joyfully. People love a cheerful giver. Emotional content and atmosphere is just as important as your knowledge. Okay? So we don't learn how to transmute negative emotions into positive emotions, then we will constantly block our own opportunities. It won't be nobody's fault but our own. Okay? So I'm trying to teach transmutation so that we can begin to accumulate the invitations and the relationships and the income and all the stuff that we want. All right. So one of the things that I want to teach is called the welcoming prayer. This is a practice. Every night I end with a practice. This is a practice that allows us the space to experience, acknowledge, and let go of the negative emotions that we are feeling, so that we can then begin to shift them into positive fuel for our superpowers. And it's called the welcoming prayer. Don't worry, it's not religious. You know, it's not anything serious. It's simply a practice that includes a shift in our mindset and some deep breathing in order to fully move into the next positive growth that awaits us. Okay? Are y'all ready for the welcoming prayer? Come to a comfortable seat. The welcoming prayer is just a way to consent to the presence of the divine in us. Whatever you call the divine, if you call the divine God, if you call the divine Allah, if you call the divine spirit or the highest self, if you call the divine, Buddha, whatever you call the divine, the welcoming prayer is a way for you to unite with that presence and consent to the work of that presence in your body, in your life, okay? So come to a comfortable seat. Just begin to breathe deeply. Close your eyes if you want to. Begin to breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Close your eyes if you want to. Now I want you to go back to the memory you have of experiencing jealousy. Whether you are the giver or the recipient, I want you to go back to the memory you have of experiencing jealousy. Go back to that memory. And allow yourself to feel whatever feelings accompany that memory. And do a scan. Start at the top of your head, moving from your scalp over your face, into your facial muscles, and understand what's happening as you revisit this memory in your body. Is your jaw clenched? If it's clenched, unclench it. Is your tongue stuck to the roof of your mouth? If so, drop it. Are the muscles around your neck and shoulders tense? If so, bring them up around your ears and drop them. Continue to breathe and scan. Go down through your arms. Take inventory of your back muscles. Bring your focus to your heart space. What's happening in your heart as you remember these feelings? Go all the way down through your back and abdominal section. Bring your attention to where you're seated and how you're supported by your seat, your chair, wherever you're sitting. Take your attention down through the hips and the pelvis and through the legs. Are your legs clenched? Are your legs tight? If so, release them. Go down to your knees. Release your knee joints. Release your calves and your ankles. Take your toes and spread them out on the floor. Be mindful of your hands and your arms and the position that they're in. Are they tense? Release. Now I want you to welcome the presence of the divine simply by saying welcome. Just say it out loud or in your heart. Just say welcome. And now that you have acknowledged your feelings and acknowledged the manifestation of your feelings in your body, I want you to repeat these letting go phrases after me. I let go of the desire for security, affection, and control. I let go of the desire for security, affection, and control. Now say, I let go of the desire to change this feeling or a sensation. I let go of the desire to change this feeling or a sensation. And continue to breathe. And what you may want to do is revisit those self-inquiry questions again. What am I jealous of? Or what are they jealous of? What does this mean about my value, my gift, my virtue, my contribution? How can I grow the virtue or character that this whole situation represents? And what will I do today to nurture myself? What you just did was allowed yourself to feel the experience, feel the emotions. You've allowed yourself space to begin the journey of letting go. And in the calm, serene, mature position that you're sitting in after the welcoming prayer, you've allowed yourself space to transmute the negative feelings of jealousy within your relationship into a positive message about your superpower, a positive message about your contribution. And you have a knowing that is deeper than when we first started. So tonight, I want to encourage you to think more about this and to create a plan for how you will generously contribute what you now know about yourself. Whether the jealousy was from you or directed to you, you now have a grasp on the inner light that you now have to illuminate solutions, innovations, gifts, the next time you set foot in the community or the workspace or the household that you are a part of. You just transmuted negative jealousy into positive superpowers. And I am so grateful that you guys trusted me to go on that journey with you. Go to www.daniellefanfare.com. Follow me on these socials. Danielle_fanfare on Instagram, just regular Danielle Fanfare on Facebook. I am so grateful for you all. I am going to see you all again. I'll be popping on lives and stories all week with some superpower practices and inquiries and little practices for us to try together. And I will be back on next Sunday at 10 p.m. Go to ilovejinka.com or go to daniellefanfare.com and get you some Jinka. Listen, I'm about to drink my Jinka. I was trying to figure out how I could drink it and talk at the same time. That's how desperate I was. Oh, you see the turmeric on the side of the cup? I'm going to have to get some more milk and rinse that down. Listen, if you want a holistic approach to removing inflammation, if you don't want to take ibuprofen and tear up your liver, get you some Jinka. All right, guys. Good night. Thank you all for joining me. I heard my child screaming earlier. I think she's still up there crying a little bit, so I'm going to go be with her. And I look forward to talking to and seeing you guys again. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.